Hey, Rachel, what's up?
Hi, Dr. John.
How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Sounds like I'm doing better than you. I'm doing great. Doing good. What's up?
So I'm just going to get right into my question. How do I end my engagement the right way while I'm living in his home, in his house?
Ooh. I think you need to define what right way means. If you mean conflict-free and fight-free and everybody acts like adults and it's all cool,
yeah,
that doesn't exist.
Oh, man.
So probably you're searching for, how do I end my engagement with integrity where I honor and respect him, I honor and respect myself, and whatever happens on the back end, I can still look myself in the mirror and know I did the right thing.
Exactly.
Tell me about it. What happened with your engagement?
For lack of time, it's just we're not as compatible as we thought we were. We've been having a lot of issues, and we're just not as compatible as we thought. We've been together for 3 years, engaged for 1, and it's just not there despite all of our efforts. I know he's trying hard. I've been trying hard, but it's just gotten to the point that I love him enough to know that I need to step out of the way, and I need him to step out of my way, and we need to find our next path because this isn't feeling right. And it's something that, I've taken a lot of time, and, I am in therapy, and
Sure.
It's been something that, has unraveled. But the issue becomes I'm just a very forward person. I wear my heart on my sleeve, and who I'm with right now just isn't very emotionally intelligent, and I'm nervous for my safety because there is a possibility of him becoming very emotional and becoming very emotionally charged. And I mean, he could very well try to kick me out in that moment. And I'm not prepared for that. And I don't know how to prepare for that, or if that's not how I should go about it. And I've had suggestions of just moving, like just one day having a moving company come and just getting out.
There's a lot here. I've got some questions like that. If
Yeah, sure.
About the relationship itself, but I'm going to put those aside because that's not why you're calling me. Okay. You're calling me about how to end this thing, and there's a couple of just guiding principles I live by. One of them is I only speak when I think I can be heard.
Yeah.
I don't speak so I can have said something in a particular moment. So a lot of grief I get, why didn't I comment on this issue or that political issue? I've done that my whole life because it's of no value. I only want to speak if someone can hear me. So I'm thinking back to when me and my wife sat across the table from each other. And by the way, we've done this a couple of times, but there was one significant time. And we both framed it up in this way. We need to talk about our marriage. There's going to be no fighting, no screaming, no yelling, no hysterics. And that was mostly for me because I'm pretty dramatic. We got to sit down and have an adult conversation. Are we going to stay married? And so I trust her and she trusted me that we could hear that prequel so that we could get down to the actual conversation that needed to happen. And so if you could imagine, I imagine you wouldn't be calling me if you had the kind of relationship with him where you could say, hey, we need to have a hard conversation about our future. I need you to clear this evening because I need to lay it all out on the table. The fact that you can't do that tells me that's probably not an option for you. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. When you say you're concerned for your safety, I am going to go to physical harm, not to he's going to say mean things. Are you concerned for your physical safety?
Yes, there has been threats made when he gets angry, such as if you ever break up with me, I'll shoot you. I'll shoot you in the head. He has said that to me.
Okay.
So it hasn't been recent. That was probably like a year ago, believe it or not.
Yeah.
But he's that kind of person where like it's really going to depend on his emotions that day. Like, and he's been feeling really depressed lately. And it's, we do have a gun in the house. So yeah, safety is a concern.
Yeah. So if you're my sister, if you're my friend, or if you're one of my former students, I would treat that as a active live threat. And what would that mean? That would mean I would get the police involved. That means I would have I'd have a group of people, if possible, with me when I move out. I would suggest this guy's threatened violence in the past, and the specificity with which the violence was threatened. It's not just like he said, dude, if you ever move out, you don't even want to know what happens. No, he told you exactly what happened. I will shoot you in the head with the gun we have in that drawer over there. Right? So I'm looking at what's the specificity? Is there a time? Is there a date? He's given you that, right? And so I would treat that as though it is live. And now, since he put that into the universe, it becomes his responsibility to prove otherwise. Meaning, if he shows up and he says, I would never do that, I was totally playing, that's his story that's his job to prove or unprove that. Okay? But I would get your therapist will have local resources there, but I would talk to somebody about getting a crew of people that would go in with you. And it might be the sheriff that comes in or some sort of officer that comes in to be with you when you move out. And worst case scenario, you have to hire a security, like by the hour, hire security people that can come in with you while you move. And it would probably be best to move when he's not there.
And that's the other wrench in this is like right now he's working, like his schedule is like dependent on the day. Like sometimes it's a morning shift, sometimes it's a night shift.
Yeah.
It all depends on like what his work needs. So it's been really hard to try and plan.
Yeah. And again, my bent is to not ever be secret about something, but to go kick in through the front door. Meaning, show up at Tuesday at 8:00 and there's 3 officers outside and you tell him, I'm moving out. And because you threatened to shoot me in the head with the gun that's over there, I brought these officers, I'm moving my stuff, and I'm ending our relationship. I hate to do it like that.
Me too.
But this sounds tragically unsafe for you.
Yeah.
How long has it been this unsafe? Do what, Leif?
I'm struggling with like how it has to be that way because I feel like I'm betraying him in a sense because I'm not.
He betrayed you and he said, if you don't do something that I want you to do, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
That's the betrayal. And you've been making peace with that ever since. Or you've been living in the shadow of that. That's a better way to say that. You've been living in that shadow ever since.
Yeah.
How long have you been terrified to be in your own home?
I'm not terrified because I've been worse. And it's all been just like verbal. There's never been anything physical. But there's emotional and verbal abuse there.
Okay.
Which is, why I know it needs to end. It's just not right for us.
Yeah.
It's just a sense of like just catching him off guard and like be trying to be prepared for that.
I'm thinking, know him better than I do. I'm also thinking sometimes people act wildly irrational when they're caught off guard versus like, hey, this is coming.
Yeah.
Is there something to be said for to call him and prep him, or to give him, as you're walking out the door on an evening, say, we need to talk. I'm ending this engagement. I'm breaking up with you. I'm moving out. I've got a new place. At 8:00 tomorrow morning, I'll be here with 3 officers in a moving company, and we're getting my stuff and we're going to go.
Yeah, that's an option.
I mean, would he chase you out the door and lock the door? And I mean, because if that's the case, then, because I can't tell, and again, this is hard on the phone, I can't tell, you're unsafe enough that he's threatened your life, and yet you're safe enough, he's never done anything, I've stayed there for another year, everything's fine, he's just kind of fragile right now. So I don't really have a good sense of it. You have a better sense than I do.
Yeah, that's kind of the issue with it. Is like you would think I would have a better sense of it, but he's unpredictable.
Okay. Then go as though this threat is live.
Yeah. Okay.
As this threat is live. There's and I caught a hint of this at the beginning, so if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Your days of living there have ended. They're over. So the idea that y'all can break up and you can just stay in this place, that's not tenable, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have another place to live?
I do. My parents are like aware of me trying to make this plan, and they've offered me to stay with them in the interim.
What do you have there that is so important that you get out?
I mean, my whole life's here.
What does that mean?
Like everything I've accrued over the past 10 years, like everything's here. But as far as like if it were to burn down, things I would regret, like not grabbing, like I could get together like pictures and meaningful things that I don't think you would miss.
That's a broader question: is can we get the important things out slowly, yet quickly? Pictures, jewelry, things like that are of substantive value. And if I'm you, I'm going to leave the couch.
Yeah.
I'm going to probably take my clothes. So I don't know what you have versus what's his. And it's not uncommon for there to be the police pretty reticent because they're going to show up and he's going to say, hey, that's mine. You can't take that. We bought that together. And they're not going to get involved in that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I'm not too worried about that because I don't plan on taking much. I'm fine with leaving the furniture.
Okay. It wasn't supposed to be like that, was it?
No.
I'm sorry.
No. That's unfortunate. But
I'm sorry.
Yeah, thanks.
You're worth more than this.
Thank you. Yeah. It's taken a while to figure that out, but
I know.
Yeah, so I'm just hoping I can get to this next step here successfully and safely.
I want you to please take my wisdom here that I want you to treat this as though it is live.
Okay.
As though if you try to move out, he will make an attempt on your life, and I want you to react accordingly. With the police and your therapist in town should be able to guide you through that to the proper resources there. Okay. And I know you've been through a lot in your life, been through worse. I get that. But I think you've been scared going home for a long time. There is a disorientation when you keep going to your house and you never know who you're going to get when you get there. I'm sorry, but I'm proud of you for moving towards peace. It's time to go ASAP.
So I have a 17-year-old daughter. She's a senior in high school. She's bright. She's kind. She's beautiful. She's generous. She's very smart. And she's romantic. She has all the feels. She kind of takes after her mother a little bit.
I was going to say, just like you raised her, right?
And she's got a boyfriend.
Oh, gross.
I know. He's a nice kid, but is not the most motivated. And they are not going to college together. He'll be a couple hours away, so driving distance. But I'm worried that their relationship is going to interfere with her college experience and that she's going to be fixated on him and kind of avoid school or other new relationships at school that are like right in front of her face. So how do I throw some cold water on this?
I don't think that's going to happen.
That's not what I want to hear.
I don't think it's going to. I spent my whole career working with college kids, and I used to tell them in orientation, just break up now. It will just save you some time. And I was always amazed at how many people went home and just broke up. Like they needed an excuse to do that. And B, a few didn't, and then they ended up getting married. But that was you're talking 1 out of 1,000. Maybe one out of every 2 or 3 years, a high school romance made it, right? That happening is very, very rare.
Okay.
What I think is happening is your daughter's about to leave you, this amazing, wonderful woman, and young woman, and that's just hard.
Yeah, it is hard. I think if you raise them right, you should get to keep them.
I do.
But instead, they grow up and they launch and they be their own person. It's
the best and the worst. My wife, when my son was born, I think I've said this on the show, she said, hey, we have one job, and that is to raise and I was like, oh, here we go, raise a good man. And she said, raise a kid that we like being around.
Yeah.
And it just now has occurred to me. My son is 14. He's halfway through high school. His freshman year of high school. I love having him around. He's hilarious. He's funny.
Yeah.
He can be serious. He's thoughtful about things. He makes fun of me in just the right, appropriate way. Like, and the thought of him being gone in 3 years, like I'm going to lose somebody that I like spending time with. You know what I mean? And I was so ready to go. My dad was so ready to get me out of the house. Like, it's just not like that. And I have to be careful not to be pre-sad. And so that way I don't miss the awesome moments that I've got right now.
Yeah.
But she's going to feel like she loves this dumb boyfriend. And as much as a 17-year-old can love anything, she's going to be in love. And ooh, gross.
Oh, they're in love.
Oh, I know, of course. But have you taken her out? Did you have boys in your life that you, as a romantic, that you overloved?
I married the first one.
Oh, gross!
I know.
I don't want to wait.
I know.
All right, dude. Sure.
Yeah, like
Dawson's
freshman
Creek
in college.
Oh, so you got married as a freshman?
Oh,
you met him as a freshman in college.
Dating. We met,
okay,
fall of freshman year and married within a year and a half. So, yeah.
Okay.
It was.
Have you taken your daughter out for breakfast and had that conversation about it was the greatest thing ever and I kind of wish I'd waited?
Yes.
Okay. Y'all have had that talk?
Yeah. And just wanting, and it's gone through her high school, they started dating in the fall, and we've seen some change in relationships with her at school. We've seen her disengage from some of the activities that she once was really into. And so that's hard to hear and see. And one of her teachers said, she doesn't recognize her anymore, that all of her energy has just gone into this boy.
Well, and it's not too late to put some boundaries on it if you want to do that.
Well, so what we've done is we've said, we've got to take a step back. You can see him one-on-one like twice a week. And if you want to see him anymore, meet him at a basketball game, go out with friends, do those kind of things. And so we've tried to do that, but she's smarter than me and she's kind of sneaky and she can I don't want to have to catch and discipline every little thing. I want to, I don't know.
I got that. Is she sexually active?
No.
Are you certain?
No.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure not.
You need to have that conversation.
Yeah.
Have that conversation. Because it is that infatuation switch. It's not always, but it is very often almost what feels like a mania to see each other at 17, 18 is almost always have some sort of physical intimacy linkage to it. And it may just be holding hands. Maybe it's just, I feel so good holding hands. I feel so good just kissing you. But that's definitely worthy of a conversation.
Yeah.
Have you sat down and said like, hey, the light's going out in your eyes. People are noticing. I'm noticing, not people. I don't want to blame other people. I'm missing my daughter.
Yes.
Okay. How'd she hear it?
She said, I'm trying to do the things that we want her to do to engage, or I don't know. She's come back and said that this school stuff that she's been interested in is now dumb, that she doesn't like the people, that she's lost those relationships.
And there may be some truth to that. Well, here's what I always want to look at with a high school kid. I always want to look at trend lines.
Yeah.
And if I watch a kid, suddenly their grades fall. If I watch a kid and suddenly the things that they've loved their whole life, they just fall off a cliff. And that's different than like, hey, I'm a senior. I don't want to play football anymore. I don't want to play volleyball anymore. Like it becomes a job and I don't want to do that anymore. That's different than I just don't go outside at all. Or I just am glued.
I think there's some of that.
Glued to my phone 24/7.
Stuff about just pulling away. Yeah. I think she's kind of pulling back just as that senioritis and getting ready to change. And
sure.
That's a big time in life. It's
very much so.
deciding who you're going to be outside of your parents and growing up and going to college.
And by the way, that fear that you have that, oh my gosh, this really wonderful, great, amazing person that we've grown to like not only love because we're their parents, but just value them as a human. They're about to leave. She feels that too. Yeah. And sometimes having a boyfriend gives somebody a permission to have that pain put somewhere else. And my only concern with a 16 or 17 or 18 or 19 or 25-year-old is that they channel that into healthy behaviors. Because a way to numb that pain can be sex, and a way to numb that pain can be sneaking alcohol, and a way to numb that pain can be sneaking Xanax. Mm-hmm. And I know that's not going to happen to your kid, except that for 20 years I sat with teenagers and their parents because it happened to their kid.
Yeah.
Right.
It's scary.
It's terrifying. But that's why I'm going to be pretty clear-eyed and go straight into it. And if I feel like I'm losing my kid, not my kid is head over heels on some romance, I'm fine with that. In fact, I want them to practice some of that while they're in my house because she's about to be 18 and wheels off, right?
Right.
And so I want them to practice some of that head over heelsness in my house. But man, if I see the light going out in my kids' eyes, I'm going to get involved with that.
And so what does that look like? Like, how do you restrict time together? I don't know.
I mean, you can do whatever you want. You're the parent. And there is a balance between sitting your kid running away and turning your kid into, like when you say like she's kind of sneaky, I don't want to have a sneaky relationship with my kid. I want him to tell the truth.
Right.
Right. And also, I'm not going to shy away from, hey, dude, I'm losing you.
Yeah.
I only see this, only hear about this when people have discovered how fun sex is, and I need to know, like, I need to know where you are.
Yeah.
And that might be the time for you to say, like, dude, I was 18 too. I was 19 also, and I fell head over heels. And I don't regret my life, but I wish I'd had some things back. Maybe not. Or maybe it's the alternative. Maybe it's like, man, I fell head over heels and I remember how hard it was to stay plugged into my values, to be safe, to be smart or whatever.
Yeah, we've had that conversation. And I think that it's just distant, right? Like, I fear that she's one who's going to have to learn things by going through them. Mm-hmm. Like, she doesn't seem to. And I just don't want her to fall flat on her face.
Have you tried making a weekly, hey, for the next, until the day we drop you off, every week you're going to have breakfast with me?
No, that's a good idea.
I would say this is mandatory. You don't get to miss this, or I'll take your phone away. Like, I mean, I would do something caustic on the other end of it, right? And with a smile on my face too, but like, you have to do this. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send you the questions for humans. It's going to sound kind of nutty. I'm going to send you the questions for humans couples deck 1, 2, and 3.
Oh,
and I know that sounds weird because you and your daughter aren't a romantic couple, but you can get some insight into how she is metabolizing this new relationship by asking some of those questions in that deck. And I want you all to go to breakfast together and just say, we're going to do 10 of these questions. Oh God, are you serious, Mom? Yes. And it may be that breakfast 1, breakfast 2, breakfast 3 are annoying. And then it's breakfast 6 out of nowhere that she's like, hey, I don't know how to get out of this thing. Or he's really pressuring me too. Or I took Xanax for the first time. I took 3 of them and it felt really good. I don't know what to do. But this is where you begin to not just talk to her, or more importantly, most parents talk at their teenagers. It's a place for their nervous system to know, even though their head is like, they're just old fuddy-duddy parents, or they don't understand, or their head can do that all day long, but their prefrontal cortex hasn't developed yet. But their nervous system will know she's safe.
Okay.
She keeps showing up.
Now, is this helpful if my husband goes too? Like,
he needs to do his own. He needs to do a different one.
Do it on his own?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And maybe the rule is for every time you go be with this boy, you have to go on a date with me.
Okay.
Y'all get to decide what these rules are. But this is going to cost y'all money, and more importantly, it's going to cost y'all time. And what I'm telling you is that's the single greatest investment you can make in this young woman right now.
Okay.
And I know this is very unpopular. I am not going to allow a 17-year-old to put themselves in situations when I know they're being unsafe sexually, when they're being unsafe with substance abuse, just because most of my career was dealing with the ramifications of that. I was afraid to give boundaries because I didn't want them. I thought they were going to rebel. And then now I'm looking at an addict, a 19-year-old who can't function. Or I'm talking to a 20-year-old who's got a new baby. And so I'm going to err on the side of not being liked and keeping my kids safe. Then I don't know. Right. So I'm going to head right into that. And I know parents don't like to hear that, but I'm also going to not be harsh without being loving too. And that's where this time, we're going to go to breakfast, we're going to breakfast, we're going to breakfast, we're going to breakfast. And I'll tell you this, as my son's entered into high school, now we might not do this forever, but now we alternate who's got a big question for the other person. So the one 2 weeks ago was I asked my son, hey, we're going to talk about the death penalty. Pro and cons. When do you think it's appropriate? Is it appropriate? Is it not? And dude, we had an amazing hour-long conversation about the death penalty, what it does, what's the actual statistics on it, what's the data on it. A guy at my church is an attorney who works with death row inmates, and so he's got the actual data about how insane some of it is. And so we had a great conversation. The next week, it was his job, and he said, I want to know what makes somebody a ride or die friend for you. Dude, we talked for the whole lunch on that. It was an amazing conversation. But again, those are big conversations that maybe you can make a list of. I'm going to ask you 3 big questions, and then you're going to ask me 3 big questions. So you've got to come up with what you want to talk about and give her an opportunity.
Okay. I can do that.
Yes. And I don't think this relationship will last for whatever it's worth. Although you were the 1 in 1,000. Well, no, you met as freshmen, so y'all met at college, but.
Technically, yeah. We were young.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, I want to get her to a fully mature frontal lobe without, a felony, a pregnancy, an addiction. What are the other big ones? I don't know. Just those big things in life that follow you everywhere.
Did you have felonies?
No.
Did you or your husband struggle with addiction?
No.
Does your daughter know in her nervous system that she's fully and deeply loved?
She does.
Okay. She's probably going to be all right.
I know. And when I look at just all the things that, God's divine intervention in, he's got his hand on her, and she's got to walk through some things, I know, but
And I'm not going to ever get upset with a 17-year-old for being in love and being curious about things that feel good. But I am going to be really direct with my wisdom there. Right? And that's that curiosity over judgment. When you talk to a 17-year-old, you should not be, they're going to blow you off. But when you're like, oh yeah, dude, sex rules.
Yeah.
And man, it's not safe for a 17-year-old. Your heart's not ready.
Right.
Right. And so being able to have that conversation is just a different tune. And I, as a parent, dude, I can't look myself in the mirror and say, I love my daughter, knowing that I'm putting you in this situation if this is what's going on. I wouldn't be who I said I am. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And the daughter you just described to me, she would understand that. She wouldn't like it. She would hate it. She'd be mad at you, but she would understand it. It's the same. I think I've mentioned this on the show. The greatest compliment my son ever gave me was, we were having another disagreement about social media because I'm a Luddite and I won't let my son have it. And Snapchat especially, I think Snapchat's clinically insane for kids to have that. Parents to give their kids Snapchat. But I told them, I finally said, hey, tell your friends at school that your dad is a loser and he sucks and he's an old man and he just won't let me have it. And he, in frustration and exasperation, said, I can't say that because that's not true. And when he turned around, I was like, oh yeah, like, right, he gets it. And dude, I get it too. Nobody wants to be the only one or frustrated or whatever. But yeah, 17's that transition time, man. And now for you guys, y'all are on the clock. You're on the countdown to, it's almost time to go. It's almost time to go. And maybe your husband takes your daughter out and says, or you take your daughter out and ask, all right, what are the 10 or 15 things you think a good husband has? Let's see. Does dad have those? What are 10 or 15 things you want to wrap your head around when it comes to the person you'd like to marry? And that might be a way to get her to stop thinking about this kind of dud of a 17 or 18-year-old boyfriend, begin to write some of these things down, and y'all could talk about him like, oh, you think this one's a big deal? It's not. Oh, you think a six-pack of abs is the most important thing? It's not. You think this is not a big deal? This is a huge deal, right? And you can begin to have some of those conversations, and you got to be honest with you where you and your husband are falling short of some of those things. So it just becomes a very authentic, vulnerable, direct, loving, curious conversation with your kid as she's making this transition from somebody you can boss around to somebody you're going to have to influence positively and let her know you're going to make dumb decisions and I'll always be right here. Thanks for being a mom that cares. I have a feeling she's going to be great. I have a feeling she's going to be great. Hey, Alex, what's up?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm pretty good.
Outstanding. Don't be nervous. Hey, we had our third caller dropped, and so I appreciate you hopping on here and being willing to come on at short notice. This is awesome. So what's up?
Yeah. So I'm currently 6 months pregnant. How can I set boundaries with my parents when they come visit me?
Ooh, tell me about that.
So I have problems setting boundaries. And my parents have problems respecting boundaries.
Those usually work together. You've learned your whole life your boundaries don't mean very much. Your parents just run over them, right?
Oh my gosh, yes, 100%.
Ugh. How old are you?
I'm 27.
Is this baby number 1 or number 2?
1.
1. So in their mind, this is more their grandchild than it is your baby.
Yeah, maybe, but they also have other grandchildren.
Okay. So what do you think is going to happen that you're scared is going to happen?
I think, one, they're not going to respect hygiene boundaries. So like kissing my baby, especially when she's like 1 day old, not vaccinated and all that stuff, just coming off a plane. My dad also just doesn't have good hand hygiene.
Okay.
And then 2, bringing in a lot of gifts, which stressed me out a lot. I'm really stressed out by even just having things on the counter. Like, I don't even have a coffee machine because having things on the counter would just stress me out, and it takes up too much mental and emotional space for me that I don't like clutter. Okay. Obviously, I'm going to have clutter with a baby.
Yeah, obviously. It's like a human explosion. Everything that you've kept tightly controlled will be erupted all over your living room, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Has controlling the variables, has cleanliness and structure and tidiness, has that been a way you've managed the chaos you grew up in? Parents who just didn't really give a crap what you think or feel or believe?
I think more so developed from my mom, because my mom gets a lot of random stuff, like stuff that she hasn't opened in years and doesn't plan to open, but refuses to get rid of it. And so I saw how all this stuff just ended up piling up, and it stressed me out. And so now I don't get anything.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I'll give you, I'm going to give you a couple of different ideas, okay?
Okay.
And you do with them whatever you want to. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think it was basically, I don't know the title. Everyone's got these different titles. I think it was the Chief Health Officer of New York. I remember an article a few years ago, and she was asked if you had, what's the one, like, she was a parent too. And it was, what's the greatest advice you could tell a parent of a newborn, a first time? And her joke, her piece of advice was a joke, but not really. Like, in practice, it's a joke, but it had a big truth to it. She said, I would encourage every parent to go down to the subway and roll your newborn around on the subway floor.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I tell you that, don't do that. Do not do that. Nobody listening to this do that. But trying to create an overly sanitized planet for your child actually robs them of a lot of the things that they can like different sorts of things they can come in contact with, dirt and germs, etc. And that through still feeding with you, it allows their body to begin to develop strength that will last them through their entire adulthood. Okay, so I tell you that to tell you, if somebody hugs your baby, kisses your baby, and you're like, A, it's probably gonna be okay. And number two, it doesn't matter what I say because they're your boundaries and it's your kid. Okay?
Right.
So here's how we've handled this in my house and how I'd recommend anybody handle this. My wife gave me a written, here's what I want to have happen when our son was being born. When my daughter was being born, she gave me another list. And now my wife's nervous, like what she does for nerves. I might go lift or go for a run or play guitar. She makes lists, okay? And so she wrote down a list of questions I was not supposed to ask, right? It ended up being hilarious, but also it's not helpful, okay? She also sent letters to both my mom and her mom and our extended families. Here's going to be our plan. Here's when y'all can come visit. Here's some things I'm very specific about. I had one buddy who had a parent who smoked, and during labor, the parent was outside, like had a cigarette, and it came in. He stepped in. Was like, nope, not holding my baby. Not after that. You got to go wash it completely up and change your shirt. And there was a little bit of an awkward pause, but that parent really respected that boundary. I was like, was getting frustrated, but went and washed up, changed shirt, and then came back. So all that to say, you get to set the boundaries, and you know as well as I do, they're going to come at a cost. Well, maybe we won't just come then. Or you're going to be in a delivery room and you've told your parents, we want you to wash your hands. You got to wash your hands before you hold the baby. No kissing the baby. And your dad just goes in for a kiss. And you have to say, I need someone to take the baby from him, please. This man is not permitted to hold my baby right now. And that's going to be an awkward, hard conversation.
Visit?
Or your husband. Do what?
The whole visit, or just that one time, you think?
It's up to you. I don't know your dad.
Okay.
If he is somebody that you say, hey, Dad, please wash your hands before you come into the house, and he looks at you and he sticks them in the flower bed and moves them around in the dirt and then walks in. If he's that kind of guy, yeah, you might have to say, man, you've opted out of holding the kid because you're not respecting my boundaries. Oh, you're so ridiculous. I've got tons of grandkids. It'll make them tough. I don't care what you're saying. This is my baby and my boundary, period. Or if he's the kind of guy when you say, hey, will you kick your shoes off before you come in my house? And he goes, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? But then he takes his shoes off, then maybe it's just one time. Right? That's up to you.
Okay.
What do you think's going to happen?
Well, I think that my dad, he does a lot of crazy things. Like, for example, when it was the height of COVID, like, for example, we were still tracking how many COVID cases there were in each county, back in the height, like the start and the scare of everything. My brother had a baby, and my dad came to visit, and he found out later that he had COVID, and he didn't want to tell my brother. And so I told my brother. But I think that my dad is capable of, having like RSV or a cold or not feeling well and not telling me. And then, getting my baby sick.
Yeah. I think the risk of that happening is very, very, very low of something bad happening to your baby. The bigger picture is, and you and I could probably talk for a long time about it. The bigger picture is you've grown up over the course of your life with a man who is more concerned about his pride or more concerned about not looking bad or saving face than he is about helping somebody, right? If I go visit somebody, a family, and we have dinner together, we go back to their house, we have coffee, we have a drink, we hang out, and then the next morning I have the flu, of course I'm going to call and tell them, guys, I have the flu. Everybody, like we do this in the office. The people on the show, they're stuck in this box. Everybody texts each other, hey, I've got COVID, I got the flu. Everybody make sure you be extra vigilant. But we're not trying to save face in here. We're not trying to protect ourselves here. And so you've grown up with that your whole life. And my guess is it's happened in some bigger issues too than just that one time with COVID. You've got to make that call for yourself. But here's the thing about boundaries. You have to decide what you want this to be. And then you have to be very clear about communicating it. And you have to live with the ramifications of your boundary. And most people who want to make boundaries want to hedge on one of those three things or all three of those things. They don't want to put very clearly in writing or very clearly on the phone or in text message, here's my expectations. They just want people to read their mind. Or they don't want to have to say, okay, you got to get out. You can't be in here. And whatever. Like, so you got to do those three things. And it's important. And so take some time. If you're married, sit down with your husband and y'all map this thing out together. What do we want this experience to be like? And as a new mom, you're going to have a lot of things to be anxious about, to worry about. You drop a pacifier, you can just dust it off. It'll be fine. That immune system's growing, it's strong, and more than likely, maybe be fine. Thank you so much for the call. I wish you guys all the best. Hang on the line. I'm going to send you a free copy as my baby gift of Building a Non-Anxious Life. That's my gift to you. I want you to read it, and that might be a good path for you and your new family to follow in creating a house that has some peace in it. And then maybe your husband can get a coffee maker on the counter. Just maybe.
So tell me about how you grew up. Kids, mom, dad, brothers and sisters.
No brothers and sisters.
Okay. Only child.
Yeah.
That explains everything. Go ahead.
and
all
we're going to flip it to you
all
next. My dad and stepmom had a little girl when I was 16.
Okay.
And a baby when I was 16. So I did grow up an only child, but I have a half sister now. My mom, single mom, started a cake shop when I was 6 months old to raise and support me. And my dad was not in my life from the time that I was 8 until I was 14.
Okay.
So that drastically shaped me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who I was in high school and college, and then even after that. But I have a great relationship with him now. I found him when I was 14, and we have a great relationship now. Yeah, I mean, my parents, if you met my parents, my mom and my dad, both so similar, like adventurous, spontaneous, entrepreneurial, hard worker to like a fault, like don't know when to stop. It is me. Like it just like, oh yeah, this Christy makes sense. Like I'm so much like what I watched.
So how do you live with, I see this and I feel what that was and I've experienced what that was, and I want this to be different for my kids and my marriage and my work. How do you balance that?
Well, I think it actually.
See what I just did there? I didn't mean to say balance. But
no,
how do you filter that?
Yeah, so I think one of the things that I have always had a very strong sense of, I think strong-willed children have this. I was a strong-willed child, am a strong-willed adult, whether Enneagram, whatever you want to call it. I have a very strong sense of ownership over my life, meaning not like in a territorial way, but like I have a strong sense of a right to myself. So like if I'm parenting my children in some way and someone judges me, I'm like, well, you got your own kids. You do what you want with your kids. These are my kids. This is my family. So the reason I bring that up is Matt and I have been very intentional to say, what do we want our family to look like? You talk about this, like visualizing plans for the weekend or whatever. What do we want our family to be about? And truly, my growing up could not have been more opposite from Matt's growing up, and both had good qualities. But it's almost like we've come here.
Yeah.
into the middle, where it's like we're going to take the good from my side and the good from his side and the parts we didn't like from each side and try to not do those things. And just try to be better. I mean, I think that's what most generations try to do. Try to fix the stuff we didn't like.
Is that intentionality exhausting?
I think the conflict initially was exhausting. It can still be, but initially trying to navigate that and discern that was really hard. Like y'all did Christmas this way and y'all did house responsibilities this way. And, I mean, all the communication around that was exhausting. Now I think it's more effortless because we very much are in a rhythm. I mean, we have 3 kids. We've been doing this a little while. We've been married almost 10 years. Like we've got a rhythm of what we want our family to be about. But I think figuring out what we wanted it to be about was hard, because I don't even know that we knew.
Like, what do you mean?
Like when we got married, it's like, in sickness and health, we're like, yeah, great. We didn't Woo! Are you ready for kids? Yeah, totally. Yeah, they're like a dog, right? But like they just cry more. I don't know. No, we had no idea. Like we had no idea what we were doing. We had no idea. You just figured as you go. But hard conversations. Like we were willing. Well, some of us were willing. Some of us got. Matt didn't love that, but we're different personality styles. He's more an introvert, an extrovert. I'm an extrovert, obviously. So
what when you look at mom, you look at dad, and then you have 3 little ones. What is one thing you want to make sure they get that stays on that line?
I want to say yes more than I say no. And that's something I got from my mom. My mom was a yes mom. Like it was like, hey, let's go get ice cream at 8 o'clock. Yeah. Like she's an adventurous mom. Like she's spontaneous. Now I had no rules and I got myself in debt because I didn't even know how money works. So there's plenty of like the responsible side that was not her sweet
We'll
side.
get to the other side. Yeah.
But she was spontaneous and fun. It was like live. Like it was like live. Like live every moment. She just has this zest for life. I want my kids to have that. So when my
Is that hard for an 8?
No, that's I'm 8 wings. No, I'm no.
All in. Okay, cool.
Oh yeah. So like when my son says, I don't know, I'm probably gonna get hate mail from this, but that's fine. Tyler will filter it out.
You're gonna have to.
You
have to get in line on our hate mail.
No, when you're driving, like when we're driving down the road, and my neighborhood's my in-laws very small, safe neighborhood, and my son Carter from the back seat yells, "Can I stick my head out the sunroof?" I'm like, "Yeah." Mm-hmm. Right? Now, my default answer as a tired mom wants to be no because I'm tired because it's just easier. But I'm trying to find opportunities to say yes. So when he says, can we go do this thing that's maybe takes a little more effort from me.
Yeah.
But it's going to be fun to a 6-year-old. Like, for example, let's use a better example. When my son wanted to be Waffle House for Halloween, not a server, the building.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
That took some more effort for me to create this cardboard building. I want to be a mom that says yes. Yeah. And we made that stinking Waffle House and it was awesome. Like, I just want to be a mom that says yes. I can't always say yes. There's plenty of things I have to say no to. But when I can say yes, I want to say yes. Yeah. I want his childhood to be fun memories that if I could do it, I tried to do it.
What's the reverse of that? What's one thing that stops with Christy and Matt?
Oh, well, my mom's going to listen to this.
See, my family doesn't listen to my show, so I'm good.
I'm psychotic about being on time. Picking him up. She was always late to get me. I'd be the last kid picked up after school.
Just so you know, Christy was in the studio today before I was. Before everybody was. Before Kelly and James and everybody. Christy was here first.
I wish it translated to everything in life, but there was one day, truly, Carter was literally 2 years old in a preschool, and I was going to be like 5 minutes late, and I cried the whole way there. Like you can just psychoanalyze that all day, but it's like that is we will never be late to pick him up because I don't want him to be the last one. Like I just remember that feeling. Yeah. So there's lists on both sides of all of it, right? Like we've got good things, bad things on all of it.
Yeah. I'm always interested in what drives people toward what they're running towards and what they're saying no.
Yeah. Okay. So another one, my mom is creative, super creative, entrepreneurial. She's like, imagine any movie you've ever seen where there's an inventor. Like she has patents, like the Beauty and the Beast, the crazy inventor dad. Like that's her. So her house was always a mess. And so I'm like weird about keeping and I'm not like Monica and Friends. I'm not one of those people. I'm not like a perfectionist. But because I grew up in a mess, it's really important to me to have a straight house, which is extremely hard with 3 kids under 6. So I've had to like reduce my expectations of even what's realistic, but that is something that like it comes from that childhood place of having a messy house that I wouldn't have friends over. I want friends to be able to stop by and they can come in, and that's hard.
So on being on time and keeping a clean place, 2 things John Delony's not known for.
So I'm going to read a couple of things about you
Okay.
that I got off the internet.
Oh, Lord.
Just kidding. I
Is
didn't
it
go off
mean
the internet.
tweets?
No, that would be
Read some
super
mean
fun.
tweets.
You're a multi-time best-selling author. You're an heiress and a co-owner of a $300 million company. I like saying heiress. That sounded fun. You got a very successful show, podcast, YouTube show, whatever. You've got very successful product lines, like things with your name stamped on them, right? And you got 3 amazing kids, and like my kids play like they're great kids, and an amazing husband. So I've watched you as my friend push back on this lie that as a successful working woman / mom, you can have it all, do it all at the same time. Like there's this mom guilt thing, and there's this mom guilt factory.
Yep.
And so many of my callers are in that cycle, and they're on different places, right? How do you, and again, going back to, we were talking about it earlier with marriage, like there's just this illusion that if I just had this, then, right?
Right.
How do you experience mom guilt? Like when you're not with your kids, you're on a shoot somewhere, or you and I are doing a live event in Minnesota.
Yep.
Part of your body's like, I should be with them.
Yep.
And then when I'm with them, part of you's like, I'm intentionally sacrificing my career right now because I could be doing these interviews. I could be in New York. I could be in LA doing this thing. How do you balance that? Because it's a tornado, right?
Yep. I think I have, and I know not everyone has this, you'd say opportunity, ability. So I recognize that as I say this out loud. I think the season my kids have been in, I have tried to follow, meaning when they were younger, babies and all that, and I'm sure people are like, no, you need the attachment, all this. There was a level of me that I didn't feel as bad. Like I was like, I didn't work crazy hours. I pulled back some, but I like was with them enough, all of it. And then when they started hitting this like preschool to early elementary school days, my mom like radar just spiked. And it was when I was pregnant with Charles and it went out the roof. And I was like, oh, I really want to be home more. Like whatever. I don't know if it was stage of life of kids.
I'm missing
the
this,
business.
something.
The busyness. I realized, oh my gosh, I find my desire is shifting. Because my desire was always work and mom, and it was great. And I mean, I went back early from maternity leave with Amelia. I went back like 2 weeks early because I was like, she's great. We got a great girl that was watching her, and I felt great. I was like, I'll go in for a few hours. Like I just was like, it really didn't like shake me to my core. I mean, I was sad at certain points for sure, but when I was pregnant with Charles, I felt this like whoosh, like I can't keep this schedule because at the time, this is before COVID and all that. We were traveling.
Was it kid or was it work?
No, it was more kids.
Okay.
I felt that.
So
more.
you were more like, I'm going to sacrifice this thing I love and I've worked for 15 years for.
To be home
this.
more.
Okay.
Yes,
right.
I did. I felt that shift. Yeah.
Okay.
But then what's funny is 6 months later, after Charles was born, COVID hits, and our work, where most people's work died down, some people lost jobs, ours spiked out the wazoo, and every interview I ever wanted was suddenly at my doorstep. And it's like, this show wants you, and this show wants you. Can you come in? Come in. So then I found myself 2 weeks in working more than I had worked even before that, the amount of hours that I was spending. And then I did start to feel this like resentment towards work because I'm like, I'm supposed to be home more. Like I deliberately took a season to be home more. And here I am working more than ever. Like this is opposite of what I was expecting. So yes, I did think like if people would just do a budget, I wouldn't have to come in and like tell people to be on a budget. You know, like I had some of those thoughts, but that died down pretty quick. But I took a season. I mean, really the last, 3 years or so, I've kept the show, I've kept things going work-wise, but I've been home more, and it's felt great. I have tried to follow the seasons of my kids, and now Charles is in school 3 days a week. So what? I'm here on a Wednesday. Like I'm like, oh yeah, I'll come in and do stuff. I have opened my schedule more, but I've kind of followed my kids' schedule for that. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So yeah, I don't know if all that.
Well, and I'm just thinking to the, and you mentioned this earlier as a caveat. I'm thinking of the mom that can't afford to do that.
Yes,
Just can't.
yes,
Or
yes.
is like whose husband won't allow it or whatever. I don't think guilt is the enemy. I think it's something to feel and acknowledge. And then we go, like we talked about earlier, I think you go through it. I think you do the best you can with what you have.
Yes.
And you acknowledge, yeah, in an ideal, perfect world, this would be the world.
Right.
And the world's not ideal or perfect. So what's the best world we can create with the record that's playing?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
What world can we create there?
Yep. Yep.
And that may mean that I only get 2 hours a night with my kids after I get off work and get them picked up. We don't have screens in this house because those 2 hours are magic golden time.
Yep.
And do I collapse every night at 8:15? Yep. That's the world we got right now.
Yes.
And you said it best. It's a season because in a few years they're all going to be in school, or a few years they're going to. One's going to be in middle school. One's going to.
Yep.
It goes so fast.
And I think too, like I have found with my kids, because when I didn't pull back and I was working more with the 2 girls, I'm like, they're going to be okay.
Yes. Kids are so resilient.
Do you know what I mean? They're going to be okay. And I heard this thing, John, and it just rubbed me the wrong way. And I don't know if it's true, so I'd be curious from like a psychological standpoint. And I can't even remember who it was. It was because it made me feel bad as a mom working when I heard this.
The mom guilt
and I was
ecosystem,
like, and it was like, when you feel guilt leaving your kids, it's your body telling you you're supposed to be with them. You're supposed to be with them. So be with them. Like it was this whole like, it was kind of a moms don't work message. And I was like, I don't like it. I don't like it. But then I'm like, oh my God, what if that's true? What if that's true? Like, is that true? Or is it that we're guilt because of society? Like,
well,
do you know what I mean?
I think there's a difference between supposed to, in this ideal world. I tell people who have to bury their kids, it's not supposed to be this way. Your kids are supposed to bury you. That's the way this is supposed to work. You're not supposed to. And yet here we are, right? This is the world that we got dropped into. And so I actually think they're right, but you shouldn't weaponize that.
That's good.
I think, whenever I leave, like after I've been on the road for a season and then somebody calls and says, hey, I drew elk tags, let's go elk hunting. And I'm like, sweet. I get on a plane and my body's like, you've been on the road. You should be at home. You're right. Like that feeling is correct.
Yes.
And I'm going to choose to show my kids that dad goes and provides. Dad goes and has fun with his friends. Dad's got a gang, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to pick this one.
That's good. It's supposed to, but I'm a single mom and I have to work 2 jobs.
I have to work.
Like, what do you do?
Yes. So in an ideal world, this would be the way this is.
Yes.
And I would say the gift you give to people is, and this is something I've taken infinitely more seriously than before I started here. And you give moms a picture of a different way it could look like. Because so many, and I do too, I hear so often, okay, my dad didn't show up. My mom was all over the place. I want it to be different, but it's like trying to explain what basketball is. And then they walk out on a court. They've never seen a game played. They've never seen a ball dribbled.
Yep.
And then you expect them to just go play.
Yep.
That's hard.
Yep.
And you got 2 little kids in school and work. I think the influencer thing can sometimes get a bad rap. I think it's a problem. No, but I think it can get a bad rap if it's used to, hey, I'm going to show you a picture of, in your head, you probably think, Rachel Cruz is out in Paris right now. This is me with my kids on a Saturday with sidewalk chalk. This is what this looks like.
Yep.
And you give moms permission to go, oh, God, I thought I was failing them by throwing pine cones at each other. And it's like,
right.
This is what it is, right? This is what it is.
Yes.
And so, anyway, I love the conversation.
It is so hard,
it's
though,
hard.
and I feel it for moms. And again, that's one of the, and I use this example a lot even in my show with my content with MoneyWise, because I do talk to moms that are like, oh my gosh, I want to be free from all this financial like obligation with debt that we have, because if I did, I would probably choose something different, right? And so like that's an example we use a lot with moms and families, is like, especially a nuclear family. It's like, that could be a motivation to get out of debt. And then you talk to some moms that are like, oh yeah, regardless of my options, I still choose this work because I love it. And right, and that would be me. Like, I mean, I'm like, I genuinely enjoy my job and I love it. And it gives me an outlet. It gives me something else. And so that's healthy too, right? So I'm like, you can hold both.
Well, I think of my mom,
such a personal thing,
who was a stay-at-home mom, and I got such a gift from that.
Yes.
Or she worked part-time.
Yeah.
And then part of my life was the mom who went back to college and became this guru at Deloitte & Touche, and then became this professor that travels the world, and
Yep.
that was a huge benefit.
Right.
And so
Yep.
it's both and.
Yes, that's right.
It's
That's
both
right.
and.
That's right. Yeah.
Um,
But it's
that's-
hard.
It's
hard
hard
for anyone. I know.
And so
I
maybe
know.
the meta lesson here is if it's hard and you feel like something's wonky, yes.
Yep.
Like it's not trying to solve for this is hard.
Right.
It's trying to solve for, okay, this is hard. What are we going to do with that?
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
How are we going
that's
to
right.
navigate this?
That's
But
right.
it not being hard isn't an option.
Yep. That's right. That's right. It's good.
All right, we are back, and it's time for, drum roll please, lightning round. Another. Look at that. Way to go. Way to go, Ben, with the jammin' tunes. It's lightning round. Y'all loved it the last time we did it, so we're doing it again. As a reminder, Kelly cuts me off. Do I get a minute?
Roughly.
Roughly, until Kelly gets tired of listening to me. And I have no idea, zero. I've got no idea what these questions are, where they're coming from. Who's asking, Jenna or Kelly?
Me.
Okay, and they're about what?
These are all about relationships.
Thematically?
Yes.
Ugh. Are you going to ask me about what happens when a producer takes over a show and they're just mean? Are you going to ask me that question?
No, I know how that relationship ends.
Yeah, I don't know how to handle that. I wouldn't be good.
No, these are all pretty much about marital relationships, marital dating, that kind of thing.
Okay, you got.
That's all I'm giving you.
And I wish y'all could see. She's got a smile on her face because she knows she's going to lob grenades in here, and I can't do anything about it. And I only get a minute, and I talk too long anyway. Okay, let's do this. I'm ready.
All right. Question 1. What advice would you give to a young single male looking for a relationship?
Make yourself the best version of you can be. Quit trying to find other people to make you feel good about yourself. Go exercise. Go get a great job. Go get a couple of mentors. Go do big things. Go out swinging. Go join an MMA gym. Go do stuff. Go join a violin class or a guitar class or a salsa dancing or a knitting class. I don't care what you do. Go make yourself the best version of you can be, so that when you run into somebody, they don't look at you as a project. They look at you as a, yes, please.
Look at you. 30 seconds left. Nice.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the first
So
in my
proud of
life
you.
ever.
All right, next question.
Is that a good answer? What do you
That
think
was
about
great.
that?
Actually, I think that was fantastic. Worry about you, not about getting in the relationship. I think that's a fantastic answer.
Yes.
All right. What do you do when one spouse is ready to have kids or adopt and the other isn't?
Leave them. Divorce, probably. I'm just
That's
kidding.
the only way.
That's the only way.
And that's the last time we do this.
No, don't do that. Okay, what's the question again?
What do you do when one spouse is ready to leave or to have kids or adopt and the other one isn't?
I think the decision to have kids or not have kids is one of the core challenges that all marriage relationships face. And I think it's getting to the core of that. Underneath it, I'm put on earth to be a mom. I really want to be a dad. My life isn't full without. What are you afraid of? I think getting to those things and really being very, very specific. What are the core fears? One of you who doesn't want to have kids, what are the core fears? What are the core pros? Like, here's what I really want to have children, and getting to the core of that stuff. And then at some point, and it sounds awful, you got to negotiate. I need 6 months and let's figure it out.
All right. Ben
What are
just
y'all
really
doing
wanted to do
back
that.
there?
It's the timers. All right. The next question, how do you fight fair in relationships?
Here's my rule for fighting. You don't fight when you're mad, and you don't fight in the heat of. You have. I don't even. Honestly, I'm gonna be. I don't like the word fighting. There's passionate disagreements. I fight when I'm trying to protect somebody. I fight with the intention of hurting somebody. And that's not how you engage in relationship disagreements. So my rule is I don't fight when I'm mad. I don't disagree when I'm mad. I walk away. I literally walk away. Sometimes it's for 30 minutes. Sometimes it's for 30 days. I'm not ready to have this conversation yet. I will come back and I'll be plugged in. And then when I come back in, I'm very specific. I don't use words like, I'm very I-centric. I feel, I'm experiencing, not you did. And it's all about, here's what I'm bringing to the table. And then I ask my wife to bring that back. Is that fair?
That's great.
Okay.
Awesome.
You fight when you're mad.
I am learning not to.
Really?
Yeah.
Way to go.
Because I'm, as my husband lovingly calls me, a bit of a bulldozer.
I've never experienced that.
Yeah, and so
I just
am
lied to you,
learning,
America.
But he needs to walk away, and I usually am, chase right after him. But I am learning to let him walk away. We'll talk, think about it, and then come back. And it's always more productive.
Okay, can I ask you this question?
Sure.
I have heard it said that when somebody has the maturity to walk away, sometimes they say this isn't a good conversation. That in and of itself is like dumping gasoline on a fire. Like, oh, you're Mr. Mature, and it just makes it worse.
It can be definitely if in my case where I'm like, oh, okay, well, you don't want to talk about this, blah blah. But to me that was clear that I needed to do more work than on me, because that person probably, and later you're like, yeah, that was the mature choice. So it was, no, I need to back up.
I'm willing to be wrong here. I just don't have an experience in my life where fighting with somebody I love solved anything.
No, it doesn't, because things you don't want to say come out, and accusations and this, that, and the other. So it never works. It never works well. Yeah.
We'll leave it at that. All right, cool.
This is not from me. This is somebody else, but I'm just going to read the question.
Sure.
Seriously.
100% from. Tell me about your marriage, Kelly.
No, my dad cheated on my mom multiple times, and now I'm married. I'm afraid my husband will cheat on me. Can you cheat-proof a marriage?
Can you cheat-proof a marriage? I don't know that that's the goal. The goal is to love deeply. If you play a game to not lose, you're going to play timid. You're going to be constricted. I want to play the game to win. So, number one, her body is going to think he's going to cheat, and that's okay. What she's got to do is be open about that and be honest about it and say, hey, in this season when I'm learning how to trust, and not just learning intellectually, but learning like my body, learning how to trust you, here's what I need. And he's got to understand where she came from, what the world she comes from, and say, okay, I love you enough that I'm gonna go a little bit further than makes sense. Even you can look at my texts, you can check out my Netflix account. I don't care. I'm a wide open book. I'm going to be a part of teaching her body that she's safe. And man, have a regular check-in, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and make it your life's mission to meet the other person's needs. And if they make it their life mission, man, it's really tough.
You're done.
To go find love somewhere else. You don't need to.
All right.
Near.
What was that sound?
Oh, I got to tell you that near story is pretty funny.
Okay.
It's not for today, but it's awesome.
How do you keep DIY home projects from taking over your marriage?
Oh, geez. Don't ever do them. Don't do them. Just stop. You know how many unfinished projects are at my house? 158. They're everywhere. They're the worst. A, don't. B, if you're going to, have a clear budget, I'm starting this, I'm going to finish it when, a timeline, have enough people that can help you get this thing started and finish it. And you cannot start any new project until this one's finished, period. End of story. And this is the pot talking to the kettle. This is the single most hypocritical thing I've ever said on this show. Don't start anything until the other thing's finished. And if you're like, but I got to do this, cool, sucks to be you. You got to finish the other thing first. That's just the way that's got to be. And you can't pull up all the hardwood floors and then be like, I think I'm going to build a garden. And then get halfway through the garden and be like, you know what I need? A pool. And just start shoveling in the backyard. You can't do it. Can't do it.
That may be my favorite thing you've ever said, because you just discussed my husband. Yeah.
If you haven't got this, by the way, America, this is just Kelly asks questions about her marriage.
The amount of unfinished projects. Anywho.
Does he consider you an unfinished project?
Probably.
He's working hard.
I don't know if it's going anywhere, though. All right. So how do you know when a relationship is worth fighting for?
You make the choice to keep fighting for it. When you and the other person are both all in. If one person is partly in and the other person's all in, it's not going to work. When you are doing things because you need this, you're codependent. When somebody is an addict and they are trying to keep themselves alive over here with unhealthy behaviors and you're tagging along, that's not going to work. So it's worth fighting for when both of you say, and not just say, but both do. I'm all in. I've got to learn new stuff, and it's going to take a long time. I got to learn how to trust again. I got to learn how to fill in the blank. I got to learn how to handle money. I got to learn how to not lie. I got to learn how to not drink when I get upset or not overeat when I get upset. I got to learn new things, but I promise I'm all in if you are.
Awesome. All right. Next question. How do you maintain intimacy when you have small kids at home?
You don't. You don't. If you have 2 kids, 5 and under, it's a sex-free zone for a long time. Just kidding. It's not. Here's how you, number 1, you have to do the seemingly unsexy thing, but it's absolutely not, is you have to plan intimacy. And intimacy, by the way, isn't just doing it. Intimacy is also, I want you to sit by me and hold me while we watch a show. I want to hold hands under the covers and fall asleep together while we're watching The Office. Intimacy is, I just want to sit on the front porch and have coffee together. Intimacy might be bananas wild sex with all your weird fantasy. That's fine. Let's figure this thing out. I'll get off the rails tonight. Like whatever that looks like. But here's the key. You got to be intentional about it. You got to map it out. And you have to talk. And so guys, if you're like, I lost my wife, shut up. You're fine. But speak out loud. And ladies, if women, if you're like, intimacy means something different to me in this season. I don't like all these people pawing all over, whatever that. Great. Speak it out loud. And then be very clear about what comes next.
Awesome. All right. My husband has been hinting that he might like to go to therapy. Should I encourage him?
Yes. Yes. I will tell you, my wife has quote unquote encouraged me. There's been a couple of times in our 20-year marriage that she reached out to my friends and said, John's not okay. And these aren't just buddies that I work with. These are guys that are as close as brothers. And so she's reached out to a few guys in my life over the years, and they've reached out and said, hey, you're not doing all right. What actions are you going to take? And they've been strongly encouraging. Right now, I'm in a season in my marriage with my wife. Actually, she told me the other day, I think you need to call that guy. And she's right. I need to call that guy. So now we're in a season where she just encourages me and I can hear it. There was seasons when I couldn't hear it. And if she had told me to go to counseling, I would have blown up and been like, you need to go to counseling. You're the crazy person. And so yes, absolutely you should encourage him, but encourage him in a way that he can hear it, not in a way that makes you feel better or feel like I said so. That's not helpful.
Awesome. I have not been invited or included by the wives of my husband's friend group. How do I handle that?
I don't know. Are you weird? This is a question to you, Kelly, because I know you just asked that question. Here's how you handle it. You got rejected, or you're getting rejected. You're in the act of getting rejection. One of the hardest things for married couples, especially newly married couples, is the expectation that you're just going to be friends with their friend's spouse. And that works for a season, for a short season. Occasionally you get to be pretty tight, but most of the time you have to, over time, develop couple friends, new people that you hang out with and do life with. So if you realize that your husband has some guy friends and their wives are all buddy-buddy and they don't like you, that stinks. It hurts. It's a knife in your soul. And more importantly, it's a knife in the picture of, we're just going to keep this party going. We were in college together, and then we all get married, and now we're going to have kids together, all going to play Little League together. They're not. I know I'm still talking. They're not going to do that. You're going to have to create new community, new friends. So you're going to have to be honest with your husband, and he's going to be like, no, it's not true. They like you. They just, you have to be honest about it, and you've got to do the hard work of finding other couple friends and going out with them. And that stinks. And it's not fun. It's the worst thing in the world is being an adult making friends, especially couple friends. God help us. But they are out there and it's awesome. It just takes some work.
Can I add to that?
Of course.
Also, because I have my group of girlfriends, and then most of the husbands are friends as well, because we all met working in the same industry. And my husband is not a very social person. He's more of an introvert. And so he has expressed that same thing at times. And I said, well, the first few times they asked you to do anything, you didn't. Mm-hmm. So they quit asking. So at some point you may have to reach out and say, hey, you want to go grab coffee? Or yes. So you may have to reach out individually or with a couple of them also,
And that's a good point. It may be, instead of doing like a couples thing, you reach out and ask those wives, hey, let's all go out.
Yeah.
And I got 3 tickets to the XYZ. Let's all go. And you just foot the bill. Let's take them out. Let's go do this. But that's a great idea.
all right, last one.
Hold on. You're smiling before you even ask this. I can see this. I don't know what's coming.
I think this is a good question that a lot of couples have.
And by a lot, you mean you and your husband. Go ahead.
How many times a week should a couple have sex?
10, 11. I'm just kidding. You're welcome, gentlemen. You're welcome. Okay, so I get that question a lot. How often should a couple have sex? It's a couple of different things. Number one, some people, the barometer for connectivity in their relationship is sex. That brings peace to their body physiologically. That grounds them. For some people, it's recreation. For some people, it is it's a way to unplug, and it's like watching Lord of the Rings. I can go be somebody else, do something else over here. We can become a different couple over here, because over here I wear a suit and I go to work and I'm a dork and I'm a mom, I'm a dad. Over here I can get off the rails. So sex means different things to different people, and there's different seasons. In some seasons, I'm writing a book and I'm really busy. In other seasons, man, things are just cooking. In other seasons, we have a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old, and then I'm pregnant. So here's the thing. How many times should you have sex? As many times as both of you can honestly and fully commit to one another to doing it over the course of 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I think kind of like weighing yourself every day, it's not really a helpful metric. Over time, a trend is helpful. So if you get to the end of a week and you're like, we only did it once this week, we're falling apart. You're not. If you get to the end of 3 months and we've had sex 2 or 3 times, and man, I really am missing my wife, or I'm really missing my husband, what's going on? That is a trend, right? Let's have that conversation. But I think it's what both people agree on. It's just that, Kelly, most people agree on it. They lie to each other. I'm cool. I'm fine. Or no, it's good. Be honest about your needs and figure it out that way. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, I think that's great.
Okay.
Because I don't think there's not a numerical answer. It's
There's
different
not.
for every
And
couple.
I actually, there is like a statistically, most couples have sex this often. I'm actually don't give that out, because every couple's different, and every couple is in a different season. The same as people are like, what foods should you eat? Man, depends on what your goals are and what you're doing. It's got so many factors to it. So similar to that question, the key is be honest and intentional about it.
There we go. You survived it.
That was
Nice
it.
work. That was it.
I
Nice
like
job.
those. Those are fun. Thanks for setting that up.
Thanks for doing it.